Hi, this is John Frederick from TruthStatic.com and the Ecclesia and Ethics Conference, an online conference about the church, moral formation, and ethics. Today we're interviewing Dr. Dennis Hollinger, President and Colman M. Mockler Distinguished Professor of Christian Ethics at Gordon Conwell Theological Seminary. He's the author of many books, including The Meaning of Sex, A Framework for the Moral Life, Head, Heart, and Hands, Bringing Together Christian Thought, Passion, and Action, and Choosing the Good, Christian Ethics in a Complex World. We invite you to join us as we discuss the Ecclesia and Ethics Conference and more. I want to talk to you about the conference, Ecclesia and Ethics. We're trying to bring together theologians and worshipers and pastors and people of all sorts from all different walks of life to discuss the role of the church and the relationship of the church to Christian ethics and Christian moral formation. I wonder what excites you and what potential do you see in a global meeting of this sort?
Well, I think one of the things that excites me is the global aspect of it, John. One of the wonderful things about living in the 21st century in this global village is the opportunity to interact with and learn from people around the globe and to learn from the church around the world. The issues they are dealing with, the wisdom they have accumulated, and I think there's a richness in that. And this conference certainly affords that. I think the other thing that excites me is that the church plays a vital role in moral formation. This stands over against the autonomous kind of individualism of Western culture, but I think we recognize biblically, theologically, and even sociologically that moral formation only takes place in a community and in relationship to others. Who are committed to the same sorts of things. That's true outside of Christian ethics, but it's certainly very true within Christian ethics. So I think it's those two dimensions, the global aspect, as well as the significance of the church and the role of the church. Yeah.
We're truly excited about that. Interestingly and wonderfully, we've just had the Nehemiah Institute in Korea sign on as sort of our affiliate from Korea. So we're accepting papers now from them, and they are kind of our hub in Korea. We're trying to do the same thing across the world. So if you're watching this video and you're from a church or an institution or even a small group or church plant, we invite you to sign up as a group. There's no charge, and the only fee for this conference actually is a minimum donation of $10 or £7 per person to one of our charities of choice, which you could find on our website, ecclesiaethics.com. So we're really excited about the potential for this global element of meeting and sort of the fusion into a meeting of the academy and the church together to learn from each other and to grow with each other and to walk together in this mission and conference. Dr. Hollinger, I wonder if you could tell us a bit about what you're working on at the present time in your own research at the seminary and in your teaching and with your own theological research.
Well, in the last couple of years, I've been doing quite a bit of work on a theology of creation as it relates to Christian ethics. And this is what I'm going to actually be presenting at the conference. I think when we think about ecclesial ethics and the role of the church, we immediately want to jump to Jesus or we want to jump to the kingdom. But it seems to me we really do have to start with creation. The meta-narrative of Scripture is the meta-narrative of creation, fall, redemption, and the final consummation, the eschaton. And I think that is the basic framework of our theological understanding as well. And so when it comes to ethics, that really should provide the overarching narrative. So often, I think Jesus or kingdom are set over against creation. And one of the things that I've been working on is attempting to show that in creation, God sets forth his designs for human life. Redemption and the kingdom are restorations of that. And so rather than seeking an ethic that is focused exclusively on the kingdom or an ethic that is focused exclusively on Jesus, I think we need a Trinitarian ethic, for one thing, Uh, but I think we need an ethic that also really incorporates the whole of the meta-narrative, the whole of the story of creation, fall, redemption, eschaton. And I have just, as I've been working in sexual ethics and other areas as well, have been struck by the significance of creation and the way that creation is reiterated throughout Scripture. So rather than being set over against, it really is the pivotal starting point.
I wonder, could you give us a preview of what you would be presenting at this conference? Does it have to do with creation and ethics for this project?
It does. What I want to do is actually look at the first several chapters of Genesis and attempt to draw from those chapters some of the salient themes that I think are important in Christian ethics. And I want to demonstrate how those themes are actually reiterated in the rest of Scripture, reinforced by the rest of our theology.
Excellent. And I wonder, along those lines, are there any literary works, theological works through the ages, actually ancient or modern, that you would that have been really formative for you in the area of transformation and moral formation into the image of the one who created us, to use the language of Colossians, which is what I'm working on here at the University of St. Andrews. I wonder, do you have any that you'd like to share with us? Would be interested to hear.
Sure. It's certainly been an assortment of eclectic influences, but I think I find myself going again and again back to St. Augustine. The thoughts of Augustine have been very formative for me, and I think have continued to reinforce certain understandings. Part of that is the paradigm of creation, fall, redemption, eschaton. Part of it is Augustine's understanding that our ethics, and indeed the entirety of the Christian life, is formed by our loves. What kind of love do we have? And that, of course, is what he argues shapes the will. And the will is very important in moral development, part of what we'll be talking about at this conference. I think on the contemporary scene, let me mention one book that I have found very instructive and helpful, more on the social ethic, applied ethics side, and it is by a sociologist, James Davidson Hunter, To Change the World. Hunter is a sociologist at the University of Virginia, and he takes issue with a number of the paradigms that have been set forth for ways in which Christians have been thinking about changing the world. He gives both sociological critique and theological critique, and in the end, he really argues that Christians are called to a faithful presence in the world, and that too often we have been fixated either in removing ourselves from the world with all of its struggles and problems and complexities, or we have rather naively entered into the structures of this world to change them, often lacking both a clear theological understanding and a sociological understanding of what we're up against in social change. So I think James Davidson Hunter's book, while from a sociologist, is nonetheless highly instructive, and even if one disagrees with him, reading through the material and struggling with it is very important for us in the church today.
Those sound excellent. Now, are you originally from Boston, Dr. Hollinger?
I am not. I actually was born in the South, and from sixth grade on lived in Pennsylvania, and I've lived most of my life in the East Coast somewhere, Washington, D.C., near New York City, and in Boston now the last 5 years.
Do you think, not being native to Boston, do you think it's possible, maybe in the new creation, for Boston driving to be redeemed, to be sanctified? Or is this forever totally depraved?
I think we can make slight, significant changes. But indeed, depravity affects the fall affects all dimensions of life, and I'm afraid it includes driving as well, and particularly in the snow, as we're experiencing today.
That's right. That's right. Well, there's some optimism there. There's hope. There's hope. Well, Dr. Hollinger, thank you so much for being willing to
participate in this conference. We are really excited to have you be a part of this, and we just thank you for spending time with us today.
Thank you, John. A great privilege to be with you. Look forward to the conference.
Me too.